everyone, my name is Andrea. Welcome to Poise with Purpose Co. I am the founder of Poise with Purpose. Hello? Yes, well, I can actually answer that just fine. So I love pink, but it's not my favorite color, and well, I can see where you're coming from, but it's something about them being super girly, and I'm not that girly, so automatically they just think I'm not girly and cute. Well, no, actually, that's the topic that I want to discuss today. Are you going to give me a second to respond? No? Okay. Don't call me again. You see that? It's people like that that make you want to stay away from the color pink. Trust me, I've been there. Welcome back to Poise with Purpose Co. and welcome to the revamp of Divine Discussions. This has been a topic that's been on my mind for a while and I'm really excited to talk about it, so I hope that you stay through to the end to really hear my emphasis on all of these points. Villainizing girly girls. I always liked the color pink. No, it is not my favorite color. I know a lot of women on YouTube and on the internet and in real life just love the color pink. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I feel like in movies and TV shows, we're always depicted as the bully, the mean girl, the popular girl, just because we like feminine colors. And we're always put into those colors. And I don't understand why that's such a horrible stigma that we have. Now, just to be feminine and girly and to like girly, coquette things, do you have to love the color pink? No, you don't. But I do want to make something really clear. Just because you like the color pink doesn't make you feminine, and just because you're feminine doesn't mean you have to like the color pink. However, let's take a look at the media. Over on this channel, I like to discuss topics such as the Faith series, the Style Like series, vintage films, all things vintage, style, etc. And a series that I used to have called Divine Discussions, where I would interview people about their businesses, their lives, and values and morals that more than likely align with my own. And I do have a degree in film. My BFA is in cinematic arts, film, and video. I graduated in the year 2020. And the reason why I want to pull some things about the media is because of my background and just the things that I've observed and noticed. So first things first, why are the super hyper feminine ladies portrayed as mean girls seemingly all the time? I'm gonna put out there that someone that isn't really villainized necessarily is Elle Woods from Legally Blonde. She's one of those individuals who's super hyper feminine, super girl boss, a girl's girl, etc. She loves to wear the color pink. I think it's her favorite color. She is not demonized in that movie as the star, which is great. I love to see that. But why don't we have more people depicted that way? For example, we even have the movie Clueless, where Cher is not necessarily the villain, but she has villainous aspects to her. Does she always wear the color pink? No. However, she's popular and her best friend Dion also, but there's still a kind of meanness to their characters. And then obviously we can look at Mean Girls. Those girls on Wednesdays we wear pink. So obvious, right? They're very mean. Why is that depicted in the media? Why is the film Mean Girls, along with several other cult classic films, so highly praised? I know that the movie is called Mean Girls, so it's supposed to be about that. That's the premise. However, that is so highly praised, and there are real life girls out here who are trying to embody their own version of Regina George, their own version of the other plastics. Like, you can see stuff like Scream Queens, Gossip Girl. I mean, why are all of these popular, hyper feminine women depicted in such an evil, demonized manner? There aren't too many good things about them. They're not very nice. They're very witty, very clever, and sometimes really intelligent, but they're not very kind. Why are those movies and characters so highly praised? Now I'm gonna pause you there. Because I know many of you probably came to my channel because of the Style Like series. The very first person that I did in that series was Whitley Gilbert from my favorite show, A Different World. Do I look up to her for my style a lot? Yes. Do I love her character? Yes. Is she a mean girl that loves pink, frills, femininity? Yes. However, she has character development and a lot of growth. I don't see that with a lot of these movies nowadays. Why are these girls depicted as mean, dumb, or so smart that they're above everybody else. Why is that always the premise for the girls that like pink? Mean Girls, like I said, Clueless, A Different World, Princess Diaries, Princess Protection Program, Freaky Friday, High School Musical, aka Sharpay Evans, The Click, 13 Going on 30, Camp Rock, Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, Wild Child, Bring It On, and She's All That, just to name a few. When I was younger, I loved a lot of colors. I loved the color pink, I loved pastels, I loved black and white, and I loved the color red. That's still prominent today. That is still true today. I do still love all of those colors. However, I wouldn't say pink is my favorite color. In fact, I wouldn't even say that I do have a favorite color. I feel so much more in touch with my femininity when I wear pink. I don't look at these characters and aspire to be mean like them. There is this demonization of what femininity truly is. This idea of having a softness about you, having or liking lighter colors and frills and dresses and just liking to dress up, liking to put on makeup and enjoying the things that are more feminine or deemed more feminine compared to more masculine things that guys might like. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with liking these things. But something I've noticed is people seem to forget that because of how we were built as women, the way that God created us, we are naturally more nurturing, more warm, more soft. We are the weaker sex. We are not built the same. We are usually more helpful, but women can also just be mean. Let's not forget that there is another kind of meanness when it comes to just being women, being girls. You look back at your childhood and you think about the girls that might have bullied you when you were growing up. I mean, I stopped wearing pink because I felt like, oh, well, so-and-so likes pink and she always looks down upon me when I'm wearing pink. I can't wear that color anymore. But does wearing pink make you the most feminine woman in the world? No. When you look at things such as social media and you look at TikTok, you look at Instagram, you look at all of these platforms and short form videos, you see people that are recreating styles, but that they're also saying, well, this is my villain era, this is my villain year. Liking girly things and stereotypically feminine things, but immediately being deemed as dumb or a mean girl. Let's talk about it. If you have your own opinions, please write it in the comments. I would love to have a discussion and hear what you all think about your perspectives, because this is an ongoing conversation. I'm not the first to talk about this. What are the things in the world that are naturally pink, maybe even artificially made pink, that we as women naturally gravitate to? I would give an example, blush. Lately, I have been really enjoying blush. And when I think of blush, I think of pink and I think of coral colors based on my skin tone, but that's just one thing. And even if you naturally blush, it's naturally going to be a lighter shade of red, which is pink. You think of Valentine's Day, you think of flowers, you think of lipstick, and your lips are usually some kind of shade of pink or brown or mauve. You think of bows and ballet slippers and just ballet as an art form and as a dance. You think of bubblegum and nail polish. My nails are a mauve-ish, purplish kind of pink right now. Think of nightgowns and pink sunsets. Usually we're the ones that are taking pictures of the pretty sunsets. Those are just naturally appealing to us as women, and they just so happen to be pink. Does that mean that it's okay to be mean or to say, oh, I like pink sunsets and pink flowers and I'm automatically a mean girl? No. There's scream queens, there's blood queens, and then they're super hyper feminine and girly, and yet they are so mean. Why is that something that's craved in the media, and why do we look up to that? We look at Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen starring Lindsay Lohan and Megan Fox, I believe. She's the popular girl. She just so happens to be wearing very girly feminine colors, and yet she's mean. If you look at some of the classic movies, if we're not considered mean, then we're considered dumb. For example, best example out there I can give right now off the top of my head, women such as a Jane Mansfield and a Marilyn Monroe. Very hyper feminine, very girly, and they were always cast in certain kinds of roles that automatically depicted them as dumb blondes or super promiscuous or very superficial and materialistic. We're not all mean. We're not all mean. Gosh, this stuff just makes me so upset. Sometimes I just want to get that meanness out of here. Be super hyper feminine and girly and like the color pink. Like, once I got married and I was able to rest in my femininity more and find rest and peace knowing, hey, my husband's gonna take care of that, that I was able to really enjoy the things that I once liked. I love flowers. I love word searches. I love frills. I love lace. I love dresses. And I feel like I'm in an environment where I feel safe enough to wear those things. And I think that that's also really important. As somebody who went through different phases in high school and college of trying to wear clothing that was more tomboy-like or alternative. Don't get me wrong, I still like some of those styles. I was trying to mold myself into not being like other girls for some reason, even though I really like bows and flowers and things that are considered more girly. I just naturally gravitate towards those things. And if you don't, that doesn't mean that you're not feminine or girly. That doesn't mean that you have to love the color pink. But I'm just saying what I've noticed about myself is I wore pink a lot as a kid, whether it was my choice or not, depending on how my parents dressed me. But then growing up, I loved the color pink, and I loved a lot of other colors and lighter pastels and such. And now as an adult, I really like the color pink. I think it's flattering. I think that it is very soft. I think it can be very bright. I think it can be very intellectual. And you don't have to go out there and automatically assume that this individual is mean or that she's looking up to these characters specifically because she wants to embrace or embody their traits, but rather just the style. Why is that style considered the epitome of a mean girl? Why are those two things so interconnected? I would love to hear your comments and suggestions in the comment box below. Hello?
I really want to apologize because I have a better understanding now of the color pink. I just wanted to say sorry.
You know what? That's really sweet of you, and I sincerely appreciate and accept your apology.
You're just mean. I don't really know. I kind of agree with you. I don't know about this topic.
Yeah, I just wanted people to understand that just because you like a certain movie or there's a certain character or you have a certain style preference or you love florals or everything is now basically pink, that you're not a mean person and you don't have to embody being a mean girl. You know what? And if you want to talk again about something like this or just go and catch up, feel free to call. Just be kinder next time.
Okay, I'll be nicer next time.
Thanks. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed. Like I said, I would really love to hear your thoughts, opinions, and even your own perspectives on why this is and why that's happening. And if you like these kinds of videos, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and go ahead and share it with somebody that you feel like might be interested in this topic. And tune in again for the next Divine Discussions episode. I can't wait to share more about the different things that I have coming up on this channel. And just please make sure that you stay tuned. I will see you in the next video.